Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So for today's video, I want to jump into a quick one about 10 utter scams that are still legal in Britain in 2025. You won't believe these. So these aren't illegal already, but they absolutely should be. And they're costing ordinary Brits, me, you, your friends and family, thousands, if not tens of thousands, every single year. So the first one is buy now, pay later. It's everywhere. Klarna, ClearPay, all the other suspects, PayPal. It's all disguised debt. It trains people to spend money they don't have and also that they can't afford. And that's not a good thing. You've got Sky and BT new customer deals, and these are absolutely a pain in the arse. I hate these. So new customers get maybe half price discount over a loyal customer that's been with them for years. Now that seems ridiculous. You know, loyal customers pay more. How's that right? You're showing your loyalty to a company and they charge you more than someone that's just joining? That's ridiculous. But you only win if you threaten to cancel. And I've had this with Virgin. Virgin in the last month tried to up my bill from £27 a month to £52 a month. So I went onto their help bot online and I said, look, I'm going to leave. I'm not having my bill more than double. You must be mad. And they said, oh, well, we need to log into your account. We need to do this. We need to do that. And I said, look, are you going to be able to reduce it to what it was before? Yes or no? They skirted around it, kept me banging on chat for about 10 minutes. And I said, look, at the end of the day, while I've been chatting to you, I've just gone and got a quote from Vodafone and I've paid for it and they're coming round in 2 weeks to fit it. So sayonara. But it's ridiculous that you should have to do that with any company. They should reward loyalty if they want loyal customers. I guess obviously landlords charging cleaning fees is another scam. Nothing more than theft from your deposit. There have been Facebook groups where people have paid a really odd number of a deposit. So it's like £1,428 or something like that. And then they've posted their final bill, and the final bill was a hodgepodge of maths that, funnily enough, came to £1,428 and meant that these people ended up with nothing back from their landlord. Now, obviously, not all landlords do this. I'd be remiss if I said that. That's a ridiculous statement to make. But there are landlords that do it. And the worst thing is they don't usually need proof or justification. They can literally write you a paper statement, a paper invoice that just says their friend came round to do some cleaning and their friend charged them £1,428. And so that's what they've charged you. And at that point, you've got no deposit. So that's a scam. That's a proper scam. And obviously, there are meant to be rent deposit guarantee schemes, but you know, some landlords don't use them, and that's the long and short of it. University degrees that have got zero ROI. So basically, you're getting yourself into 50 or 60 grand's worth of debt for a 3-year course to go and eventually come out of it and do a job that pays 25 grand a year. That's a poppycock. So basically, degrees are being sold like wet dreams. And yeah, I mean, considering that for 50 grand or 60 grand, and probably a fraction of the time, you could learn all of those skills and they would be more up to date just online. You could learn them yourself online. Don't forget, if you're doing something, let's just say you're doing something like a law degree that's 7 years long or 5 years long, whatever it might be. By the time you're in your 5th, 6th, or 7th year, how much of the information that you learnt in your first couple of years is still valid? Probably a good portion of it is not. And you've paid for that. You've paid to learn invalid information. It's not going to sit you very well when it comes to getting a job or applying any of it in the real world. So you can learn a lot of it online for free. Another big one is funeral plans. Now, they're massively overpriced. They're also very poorly regulated. And basically guilt is just sold on to vulnerable families. And that seems ridiculous, but funeral companies do prey on grieving families, and they make a phenomenal amount of money doing so. Another one is letting agents. Now, letting agents, they charge ridiculous admin fees. Now, obviously, this is meant to be banned, but it does still happen. It happens through clever renaming. They just don't call it an admin fee. They call it something else, so it slides under the radar. And that happens a lot with all kinds of fees. Another big one is payday loans. Now, they're disguised as being flexible credit. But some of these, and believe it or not, this is factually accurate, over 700% APRs. That is incredible. And they are still everywhere online. I get adverts for these pop up on websites all the time. It's ridiculous. Another one is council tax banding errors. Now, I wonder how much of this is an accident and how much of it is just because they can get away with it. But millions of people, and Martin Lewis, the guy from, I think it's Money Saving Expert, he bangs on about this all the time. Millions and millions of homes are in the wrong bands. Councils will not bother to try and fix this. They're in no rush to take money away from their own coffers. Why would they? They're happy to take yours, though. So you can check online at what your property was valued at. I think it's in 1991. And if it's built after that, they use a comparable scale. And the odds are, it's something stupid. It's like 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 is the number that I researched. But even if it's 1 in 6, I mean, there are, 23 million homes in the UK. So 1 in 6 of those is in the wrong band. That's massive. And that could be the difference. If you're going where I live from a band C to a band D, that could be £500 a year that you're being charged. If you've been there for 7 years, that's 3.5 grand that you've overpaid your council, that have done nothing but spunk the money away. So that's a huge one. And if you're unsure, if you're uncertain, even if you just want to find out, it's well worth checking into. Another one is free trials that then auto bill you when that trial ends. And this is huge online. In fact, most things, whether it's an app like Spotify or Duolingo on your phone, whatever it might be, whether you're using something like I do, where I've got CapCut or I've got Canva as like design tools, they give you that 3-day, that 7-day, or sometimes on Netflix, it might be 3 months, because at that point you're going to forget to cancel it. And then they just auto bill you for like 30 quid or whatever it might be. It's often hidden in the fine print. They do usually tell you up front. I think that's because they have to. But very often they make it hard to cancel as well. And it's so easy to forget. They make thousands, tens of thousands from this every single month. Money for old rope. And I guess the final one is pension fees that eat your future. So many workplace pensions, they actually charge high fees. You're not going to know unless you really look into it. So you need to work out who your workplace pensions are with. Log into the app, work out what you're being charged versus what's going in there. Is it worth it? If it's not, transfer it out, put it into one that is. You could lose tens of thousands over a lifetime. And let's face it, with the state of the economy, the state of the pension system at the moment, the state of the cost of living, every pound matters. Every single pound has a purpose. And you need to think of all of your money as being every pound has a purpose. It'll make you be a bit more frugal with it. It'll make you manage it better. And it'll make you visualize what you want that money to do for you, whether it's just an easy life of retirement on a farm or a beach somewhere, or whether it's starting a business that you can then run up, retire from, and pass on to your kids as a legacy. Whatever it might be, treat every pound as having a purpose, and that will help you do better, be better, and hopefully have more. So what are your thoughts on those 10? Let me know in the comments, drop it below. YouTube is going to put another video there. Like, follow, subscribe, or don't. Your choice entirely. And yeah, all that jazz. Goldman, peace out.